Yungchang, also known by A. Chang, is a Chinese performance artist born and raised in Western Yunnan in 1967. He graduated from Yunnan Art University with a degree in oil painting in 1991. Yungchang gradually moved his focus towards performance art, particularly performance art that tested his strength, endurance, and mental fortitude. His intentions with these works are to combine psychological transformations with existential thought. Another component of Yungchang's work is Chinese philosophy or mythology. While I am unfamiliar with much of the basic Chinese philosophies and mythological stories, I do know that he uses these themes to bring about questions about individuality and the way in which the physical body is treated in Chinese society. Yungchang once said, "I feel that China is a very complex society, one in which it is important to use your body and your intellect so you can stop and face its reality." Highlighting the body in this way, as separate, is also important because, historically, Chinese people have not endowed the physical body with value. Rather, they had valued the spirit of the Chinese people as a collective. Contemporary China is much more individual in its thinking, so it's a pull between the two. By putting pressure on an idea about myself and my own body, I can make it into something much larger. While Yungchang's work may be somewhat unfamiliar to those in the West, he is regarded as one of the best performance artists in all of China. In this first piece we will look at, titled Eyesight Test, Yungchang forces himself to stare at 256 light bulbs, equaling about 10,000 watts of light, for an hour in order to make his eyesight worse. The piece itself is actually just a printed out photo of him during his time in front of the light bulbs. The final piece is not about witnessing the event as it happened, but rather knowing that he triumphed through the use of a single photograph instead of a video. The second piece of work we will talk about is Dialogue with Water, a performance piece where, with incisions made on his upper arm, Yungchang was suspended by a crane over the Liang River in Yunnan, holding the same knife used to cut into him, with the intention of cutting the river. With his blood flowing into the river, Yungchang stayed suspended in the air for about 30 minutes before coming back down. He estimates that the cut made into the river was about 4,500 meters long. Initially paired with this image, Yungchang wanted to create a connection between his art and traditional art that had already been made in order to create a work that is nicely contrasted. Again, like the earlier piece, this work has been summarized by a photograph, with its real meaning left up to interpretation. The third piece we are going to look at is Wrestling, 1 and 100, in which Yungchang wrestles with 100 people for 66 minutes. At the end of this piece, Yungchang's record stood at 18-82. There is not much more to this other than that its final form is captured in HD video with color and sound on a Betamax cassette tape. The fourth and final piece is aptly titled One Rib. Yungchang, in front of an audience, surgically removed one of his own lower ribs without anesthetic and cleaned and crafted it into a golden necklace. Photos were then taken with both the artist and his mother, as well as other female friends wearing the necklace around their necks. This performance is widely regarded as one of his most known works, attracting reporters from all over the world. Overall, Yungchang is a highly talented, strong-willed, visceral artist whose works continue to shock and surprise. His pieces are very intriguing, as his body is the utensil for the art, which causes the viewer to think about the piece in a way that they may not have had they known the story behind it.